Good morning, boys and girls. We're back in my art studio again. This week we're going to be talking about the letter W. And so the story that I have for you for the letter W is called the Wacky Walrus. And a lot of the words that you're going to hear today is going to start with the w sound. So I want you to be listening through the story for the w sounds, okay? Wacky Walrus. This walrus is pretty wacky. He's got purple hair and he's got purple W's on his body. So let's get started with our story. And I'm so glad to be with you today. Let's get started. Here we go. Wacky Walrus. Once upon a time, deep in a white wilderness of Wyoming, there lived a woolly walrus, and his name was Wacky. Because she did wacky, silly things like waltzing and wiggling. Have you ever heard of a walrus doing that? Wacky lived in a wigwam. This is a wigwam. It's like a tent. The wigwam kept her warm in the winter. She had a little friend named Wiggly Worm. Wacky would pull Wiggly in his little worm wagon, and together they would whistle and whisper and wink. One day, Wiggly Worm decided to play a trick on Wacky. Wiggly wandered away and hid in some weeds. Wacky looked and looked and looked for Wiggly. She called, "Wiggly, where are you?" And when Wacky could not find the worm, she sat down and she wept. Finally, Wiggly made little sounds. She went, whoop, 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 whoop. And Wacky found him in the woods, or in the weeds. Okay, I want to hear you say, whoop, 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 just like little Wiggly. Wiggly enjoyed his trick so much that the next day he hid again, and this time he hid in a pile of wood. Wacky looked and called, "Wiggly, where are you?" Wacky looked in the weeds where Wiggly was before, but there was no worm there. Where? 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 Cried Wacky. Very soon she heard a little sound that went like this. Say with me. Whoop, 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 whoop. And that was Wiggly. He made his sound from the wood, and Wacky found him again. It's wood. By now, Wiggly was enjoying all the trouble that he was causing. So the next day, he wiggled away and he went into the waves in the water. Wacky looked and looked, and she began to weep. She couldn't find Wiggly anywhere. Where? 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 Wiggly made his sound from the water again. Say it with me. Wah, 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 wah. And Wacky discovered where he was. It says waves in the water. Wacky was weary from Wiggly's tricks and tried to watch him carefully so that he would not wander away and disappear again. But being wary, she fell asleep, and this time Wiggly wiggled off to an old washing machine. When Wacky could not find him, she began to weep loudly. Wah! 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 And later she heard him in the washing machine. He was saying, what, 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 what? Wacky asked Wiggly, why do you keep wandering away? Wiggly said, Wacky, I want my own wigwam. If I had my own wigwam, I would not wiggle away. So, Wacky and Wiggly worked together and made a white woolly wigwam for Wiggly. Now they were always together. Wiggly never wandered away anymore, and Wiggly and Wacky waltzed and walked and waddled, and they whirled and whistled together all week long. And there's Wacky's wigwam and Wiggly's wigwam. Isn't that a silly story? That's our story for the letter W. I hope you enjoyed that, boys and girls. I am going to go for now, but I will be back several times this week. I have a lot more stories to read for you. This week we're not only going to be talking about the letter W, we're also going to be talking about being healthy and the things that we can do to stay healthy. So, I'm going to let you go for now. Have a good week. I love you. Bye-bye.